Hi there, and welcome to the last video in our SEO Made Simple series. In this video, I'm going to wrap everything up for you in as nice a little package as I can. We'll summarize what we went over in the previous 4 videos, and I'll also give you some of my recommendations for how you can continue on with your SEO education journey with some recommended resources and tools for you to use. So if you've been watching this series all along, first I want to say thank you so much for your support and for watching this series. It's the first time I've done any content in this format, so if you have been enjoying it and you'd like to see me do more content this way, feel free to drop me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. So let's go over what we've covered in this series. In the first video, we went very high level, and we started out with just the basics of what is SEO. We talked about on-page, off-page, and local SEO, and also how these work together, and why SEO in general and having an SEO strategy is important to the success of your online business. In the second video, we took the next step and dove into keywords. We learned what keywords are, short tail, long tail, and how to research them. We went over tools like Ahrefs, Ubersuggest, Keywords Everywhere, Moz, Semrush. We covered a lot of territory there, but we also went over what the general cost can be for some of those tools, and what might be most useful for you. And in general, I still stick to my recommendation that with tools like Keywords Everywhere or Ubersuggest and their extensions, you can get a lot of great data in easily understood format for not a lot of money. If you're just starting out learning about SEO and educating yourself, there's no need to be spending upwards of $100 a month on a really in-depth, serious SEO keyword research tool. There may be a time when that's important and useful for you, but if you're just getting started, start small, start with stuff that can really be helpful to your general understanding and won't break the bank at the same time. And some of these even have free plans that you can get started with before you commit to any type of paid. Following up on that video, in our third installment, we dug a little bit deeper into keywords, so that once you figured out what keywords you wanted to target in your SEO strategy, well, what do you do with them? Where do you put them in your content and on your website? So we covered everything from site titles and SEO titles and meta descriptions. We talked about the hierarchy of using H1, H2, H3 headings, and then also using keywords throughout the content of the copy in your website and in your blog posts, and just generally helping you to figure out how to strategically start using those keywords and placing them correctly within your website and in your content to help start getting the search engines to notice you and serve your content up in their search results page. I also talked to you about some of the tools that you can use. There's also another tool here that I would like to call out that I found very helpful and I have been using for a couple of years now, and that's the CoShcheduler's Headline Analyzer Studio. It is a paid product, but it's not terribly expensive for an annual plan. But it is a great tool for typing in your titles, and you get a score back based on the readability and a score from your title in general, but also on the paid plan, you can get SEO score and results. And this will tell you how well your keywords are doing within your title. It'll tell you how you're doing in terms of how it will show up in search, the competition. It'll also give you suggestions of where you can improve, and it'll give you also some data and information on the keywords that you've chosen, and also offers suggestions and alternatives. And they've also updated it recently, so now you can test out your headlines, not just for a blog post or an article, but you can test it out for YouTube videos, you can test it out for Instagram titles, emails, anything like that. So it's much more powerful and you can tweak things. I often will have one title that's more specific to my YouTube video, and for the corresponding blog, it'll be more in line with something that's going to be beneficial for that. So they'll be similar, it's the same content, but I might make some tweaks so that they're more suited to SEO for the specific platform I'm posting content. So if you're someone that is doing a lot of blogging or YouTube videos or things like that, that might be something that might be worth a little bit of an investment. I want to say it's about $100 or so a year for the first starter plan, to be able to get a lot more insight and detail in your SEO titles. So highly recommend that. Not an affiliate, just a very happy user and one of my favorite tools to use. Okay, so moving on, in our last video, that one was a special one for my fellow Squarespace users. So I am a Squarespace user and Squarespace web designer, It's important to me to make sure that I am helping my clients to optimize SEO as much as possible and to be able to show people how easy it is to implement SEO in a Squarespace website. There's a lot of myths out there about Squarespace and SEO, and well, quite frankly, they're out of date. So I wanted to show you exactly where in your website, if you're a Squarespace user, you can have all the settings at your fingertips, how easy it is to update them, and show you a couple of tips and tricks as well along. And of course, I would be remiss, as always, to not mention Henry Purchase and the SEO Space team and their tool, the SEOSpace plugin, which is for Squarespace SEO. It is a tool that I haven't been able to stop raving about, and I will continue to rave about it. If you are a Squarespace user, I cannot recommend it enough. It really does a great job at breaking down SEO and giving you immediate results to tell you exactly how your pages and your website are doing in regards to SEO, and give you quick, actionable items that you can correct and fix with a lot of great educational content as well. So if you are a Squarespace user and you haven't checked out that plugin yet, I highly recommend it. I'll link again to the video that I did of my review of it up above. But know that they are constantly making great updates to this tool. It just keeps getting better and better. So make sure that you check that out if you are a Squarespace user. You won't regret it, I promise. All right. Now, finally, that brings us to today and our wrap up, the final in this series. So the only things I wanted to cover in this video for you is to, again, give you a summary of what we've done in the first 4 videos. And I just would like to kind of share with you again the tools that I use as a part of my SEO strategy and tool set, and resources that helped me when I was beginning out my journey that I also highly recommend, just so that you also have some ideas and some places to go to as you continue your education, your research. So my tool set for SEO, if you kind of have picked up on it by this point, obviously is the SEOSpace plugin, as I mentioned. For my keyword research, I primarily use Keywords Everywhere. I do have a paid plan for that, and I occasionally use the free Ubersuggest plugin as well. And for YouTube, I use VidIQ. Highly recommend them as well. And again, none of these are affiliate links. These are just tools I love and enjoy using. And I mentioned previously the CoShcheduler Headline Analyzer Studio, which is a mouthful. Again, there is a free plan, but if you do a paid plan, you'll get a lot better results with that, and you'll get really informative SEO information regarding the headlines for your articles and posts. So highly recommend. Another tool that I use a little bit, not as much as the others, but might be something you'd be interested in looking into. It is a free tool that you can download called Screaming Frog. It's an interesting name. This is one that isn't really a research tool so much in regards to keywords, but it's more of a tool that will do a scan of your website and give back quite a lot of data on your meta descriptions and your titles and looking at links and things like that. My only caution on that is just know that it is, unlike if you're on Squarespace and use the SEO plugin where it's kind of quick and very user-friendly, this spits out a lot of data for you, and there's just a ton there. So if you're willing to kind of take a little bit of time and figure out how the tool works and what you're looking for, you might find that interesting. And it's a free tool. But my recommendation would be maybe get started with some of the others first before you dive into that, because personally, I find that if you're new at this stuff and you get into tools that spit out a plethora of data at you in a very large format, it can get very overwhelming and confusing, and might cause you to kind of, take a step back from your strategy a bit. You might kind of see some things that, you really don't need to worry about, but you're not sure if you need to worry about them. And, my recommendation is start simple, start with the stuff that's really geared to user friendliness and really highlighting the key and important items that you should be. So moving on from there, my recommendations for ongoing education as you continue to learn more about SEO and strategy and whatever your journey is going to be. I would like to recommend 3 primary resources. There are a ton of resources out there, wonderful resources and educators out there. So feel free to do your own research. Find somebody that the way they present their information and their content resonates with you and you find helpful. The 3 folks that I have consumed a ton of their content and have really enjoyed and has really helped me along the way. First and foremost, a shout out to Meg Casebolt and her Love at First Search company. Consumed a lot of her content over the years. She has she has a YouTube channel. She has a great podcast, but she's been doing a lot of work in the space for years. It's not Squarespace specific. She's an SEO expert. And her company, Love at First Search, has a lot of great resources. I took her SEO course. Can't recommend it enough. Really well put together, easily understandable, and a lot of great support there. So check out Meg Casebolt and Love at First Search. Then, of course, moving on from there, I would give another shout out to David Alex. David is a Squarespace expert, but he's also an SEO expert. So he has a very good channel here on YouTube. So I highly recommend you check him out, regardless of whether or not you're a Squarespace user. If you are, double points because he has incredible content on there that's specific to Squarespace, but he also knows his stuff when it comes to SEO. And he has a lot of great content and resources there that are easily understandable and digestible. And he has some affordable options too with some of his paid offerings as well. So definitely check out David Alex. And then, of course, my favorite, Henry Purchase and the folks at SEOSpace is really pumping out a lot of great content and information and tools around the Squarespace SEO, but also SEO in general. Again, very focused on Squarespace, but his content is about SEO. So the things that he teaches about SEO, you can apply anywhere. And he has been putting out a lot of great information on his YouTube channel, as well as on the SEOSpace website. There's a lot of free resources and content education around SEO. He does a great job with it, and I can't recommend his stuff enough. So those would be the three people that I continue to learn from. I continue to consume their content, have been very helpful to me, and that I will continue to be consuming all of their content that I can get out there as I continue to learn. Because that's the one thing I wanted to wrap up with here today is that, I hesitate to call myself an SEO expert because I don't feel like I'm an expert yet. I'm always going to be a continuing student of SEO and trying to up-level my skills and my expertise as I continue to grow in my design business and being able to continue to offer better and better service to my clients and help them along the way with their SEO journey as well. But I don't consider myself an expert. What I wanted to be able to do in this series is to be able to provide you with the same types of information that I was looking for years ago when I was first starting out and didn't have a clue about SEO. What are the basics? Who are good resources to learn from? What tools should I look at? When I was doing all of my searches and my researches back then, there is just, as you know, so much information on the internet, and it's hard to know what's good and what's not good and what's worth your time or your money. And I just wanted to be able to provide you with something that could help you along the way. Just some tidbits, some guidance, give you the basics, take some of the fear out of SEO because yes, it can get complicated and you can get into the weeds, but to get started and to be successful with SEO and to get your stuff seen on the internet, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to go into the weeds and all these details. Start with the basics, get comfortable with them, start slow, and you'll learn just like I did, and you'll do just fine. But I hope that you found that this was helpful and that will encourage you to take a share out of SEO strategy, start putting one together, and hopefully now you are armed with a list of a lot of different resources that are available to you, that are accessible, that are useful for anyone, regardless of where they are at their stage of the game here. And I have listed all of those links. All the tools that I've mentioned are linked down below in the description, along with the information about the ongoing education resources I mentioned as well. And again, with the grand exception of the SEO plugin, I'm not an affiliate for any of them. They're just tools that I find very helpful, resources that I think are very beneficial to anyone at the beginning stages of their SEO strategy game. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this series. I appreciate the support. Again, if you enjoyed it, if you did find it helpful, I would love to hear from you. So please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Or if there's any questions that you may have, anything that I didn't cover or a question that you may have that I did get to answering during this series, please let me know. Maybe I'll make a video about that in the near future. So thanks again so much for watching. I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye.